King Charles has ensured Andrew's total irrelevance. King Charles III has masterfully orchestrated a quiet but decisive strategy that has rendered his younger brother virtually invisible. Prince Andrew, once a prominent royal figure with global visibility, now exists on the outermost fringes of the monarchy's public life. The transformation did not happen overnight, it unfolded deliberately. Through a series of calculated decisions made since Charles ascended. Experts in royal affairs describe the outcome as total irrelevance, a status carefully engineered to protect the institution above all else. Andrew's fall from grace began long before Charles became king. Rooted in his association with Jeffrey Epstein and Virginia Giuffre, the infamous Newsnight interview in November 2019 proved catastrophic, turning public sympathy into widespread revulsion and ridicule. When Charles assumed the throne in September 2022, he inherited a family still grappling with Andrew's lingering scandal. Rather than allow the controversy to overshadow the new reign, Charles chose a path of firm, silent exclusion. One of the earliest and most symbolic moves came quickly. Andrew was stripped of his military titles and royal patronages. In January 2022, a decision taken by Queen Elizabeth II but supported. Charles, then Prince of Wales, is understood to have endorsed the removal of these honours to distance the crown from the controversy. Upon becoming king, Charles went further by removing Andrew's personal allowance from the sovereign grant entirely. The annual sum of approximately £250,000 vanished overnight, leaving Andrew financially dependent on private wealth alone. This financial severance sent a clear message: no ongoing support would be provided by the monarchy for his lifestyle or protection. Royal Lodge, the sprawling Windsor residence Andrew has occupied for nearly 2 decades, became another point of leverage. Charles quietly reviewed the lease arrangement and expressed a preference for reclaiming the property for more suitable use. Although Andrew continues to live there for now, the threat of relocation hangs over him like a constant reminder. Insiders say the king has made it plain that continued occupancy depends on Andrew maintaining a low profile and causing no trouble. Public appearances by Andrew have been reduced to near zero. He no longer attends major state occasions, garden parties, or the traditional Christmas service at Sandringham in any visible way. Even at family events, his presence is minimized and kept private. During the coronation in May 2023, Andrew was notably absent from any prominent role or balcony appearance whatsoever. He attended the ceremony itself but remained seated discreetly in the third row, far from the cameras and public view. The deliberate positioning underscored his diminished status within the tightly controlled choreography of royal protocol. King Charles has also ensured that Andrew's name rarely features in official communications, speeches or palace announcements. When the king refers to "my family," the phrase is carefully worded to focus on those actively contributing to public duty. Andrew's lack of involvement stands in stark contrast to the increased visibility given to the Waleses and other working royals. Royal commentators note that this approach is not driven by personal animosity. but by a pragmatic need to safeguard the monarchy's reputation. Charles, long viewed as a modernizer, understands that perception matters. Any association with Andrew risks reigniting old scandals. At a time when the institution faces scrutiny over relevance, the strategy has proven remarkably effective in achieving its goal. Public interest in Prince Andrew has plummeted dramatically since his brother became king and tightened the boundaries. Media coverage of him now appears sporadically, usually tied to legal updates or isolated sightings rather than royal news. The Epstein-related civil settlement with Virginia Giuffre in early 2022 removed one major legal threat but did not restore status. Charles's refusal to rehabilitate Andrew sent a powerful signal that past associations, even settled privately, carry permanent consequences. Some royal watchers argue the king's actions border on ruthless. They point out that Andrew, stripped of income and role, has been left in a kind of royal limbo, neither fully in nor fully out. Yet defenders of Charles's approach insist it was the only viable option. Allowing Andrew any platform risked fresh controversy and undermined the painstaking work of restoring public trust. The contrast with other family members is telling. Prince Edward and the Duchess of Edinburgh have taken on expanded roles, while the Princess Royal remains one of the hardest working royals. Even the disgraced Duke of York's daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, maintain low-key but approved public profiles through their patronages. Andrew alone has been systematically excluded from this circle. Behind closed doors, the relationship between the brothers is said to be cordial on the surface but emotionally distant. Charles has reportedly expressed private sadness over the situation. Yet he remains resolute in prioritizing the crown's long-term health. Andrew, for his part, is understood to feel deeply aggrieved, believing he has been unfairly cast aside after years of service. His naval career, Falklands service and charitable work are often cited by supporters as reasons for greater leniency. However, the palace view remains unchanged: the damage done by the Epstein connection outweighs any previous contributions. King Charles has also taken steps to limit Andrew's future influence. Amendments to succession rules and royal titles legislation have been quietly prepared to prevent any posthumous rehabilitation. The overall effect is a form of managed irrelevance. Andrew exists, but he no longer matters in the public royal narrative. This approach mirrors historical precedents within the family. Previous royals who fell from favor, such as the Duke of Windsor, were similarly marginalized after creating institutional problems. Charles appears to have studied those lessons carefully, applying them with the precision of a monarch determined to survive. Critics sometimes accuse the king of being cold or vindictive. They argue that family loyalty should extend even to flawed members. Supporters counter that true loyalty means protecting the whole, rather than indulging the weaknesses of one individual. The strategy has largely succeeded in its primary objective. The monarchy under Charles has stabilized its image, focusing on duty, service and forward-looking initiatives. Andrew's name rarely disrupts that carefully curated message. When it does surface, the story tends to fade quickly. lacking the oxygen of official royal endorsement or attention. In many ways, total irrelevance has become Andrew's new reality. He retains his title, his home and a degree of privacy. But he has been erased from the active life of the monarchy. King Charles achieved this outcome not through dramatic confrontation, but through steady, unrelenting administrative and symbolic exclusion. The result is a quieter, more controlled royal family portrait. One where problematic figures are no longer allowed to dominate headlines. Whether this approach will hold in the long term remains uncertain. Legal developments, memoir revelations or unexpected events could still bring Andrew back into sharper focus. For now, however, the king's plan appears to be working exactly as intended, silently, efficiently and with lasting effect. Prince Andrew, once second son and favored royal bachelor, has been reduced to a shadow figure in his own family story. King Charles has ensured that irrelevance is not accidental. It is deliberate, complete and, so far, remarkably successful. The monarchy moves forward, lighter in controversy, and more tightly focused on those who serve its present needs. Andrew remains part of the family tree, but only just a branch carefully pruned to preserve the health of the whole. In the end, Charles's handling of his brother's downfall may come to be seen as one of his most disciplined achievements. It demonstrates a monarch willing to make hard choices to secure the institution for generations yet to come. Total irrelevance, once unthinkable for a prince, has become the price paid for past misjudgments. And King Charles has made certain that price is paid in full.